Welcome to another edition of Islanders Insider. I'm Stephen King, and we come to you today from our new location for Islanders Insider, the Chapman Field Press Box here on the campus of Texas A&M University, Corpus Christi. We're going to be talking some Islanders baseball and softball today with head coaches Scott Malone and Stephanie Hughes. Let's get things underway. Bringing in the head coach of Islanders baseball, Coach Scott Malone. How are you doing?
Stephen, how are you? Great to be here.
Well, a lot to talk about. Season's well under its way. We've had a chance to just talk briefly. A couple things I want to get into. I'm going to pinpoint players right off the bat here because this one gentleman kind of intrigues me a lot. Russell Vaughn. Tell me a little bit about him.
Well, the first thing that came to mind, you start talking about Russell, it's almost like like he has just decided we're going to be good. We're going to finish in one of the top spots in the league, and I'm going to take us there. You know, and he has shown great leadership in the dugout, keeping guys locked in when we're coming from behind. And most importantly, that he's gotten so much respect from the players. You can't just talk the talk. You got to walk the walk. He's gotten hot, man. They can't get him out. And he's gone from being our little 8 or 9 hole catcher to this guy that's driving in runs and getting big clutch hits late in the game. It's been fun to watch for a couple of weeks.
He's enthusiastic out there, there's no doubt. One thing also about him, I know that you and he communicate a lot. What is his role when it comes to the pitcher on the mound right now and the decision-making that you have to come up with?
He's almost turned into an assistant coach for me.
I've seen you communicate.
It all started when I was getting ready to pinch run for Russell one day at second, and he, no, I'm good. Okay, senior, go ahead, finish it up. And then it's turned into, we're down in New Orleans. We played 3 one-run games in conference, and it's very shaky, very tight, those last few outs of the game. And I really kind of leaned on him like, hey, you want the sidearm guy or the over-the-top, and hey, this is what I want. And, he's been right on every time. And usually you try to let the coaches coach and the kids play, but he's kind of earned it now, and he really handles our pitching staff outstanding, has a great feel for who's got their best stuff on that given day and who doesn't. And, he and I have been communicating down the stretch, and, it's great. That's what you want from your seniors.
There's no doubt. And recently we had a big series here at Chapman Field against Stephen F. Austin. We lost 2 of 3, but those 2 we lost by a total of 3 combined runs. Now, there were impressive pitchers in the series, there's no doubt, but it was really defined by the bats. I think Stephen F. Austin averaged about 17 hits. You averaged about 14 hits. The Islanders did. Kind of talk about that series, the many runs, and just kind of what a dogfight that really was.
I don't think our pitchers were really, really poor. I thought Stephen F. Austin dictated the tempo, for lack of a better word. They came out hitting and kind of drew a line in the sand on us and said, you guys want to play with us all weekend, you're going to have to hit, you're going to have to score runs. And I think the biggest positive that I got out of it is we played from behind a bunch, and we really handled ourselves well. Another way, we took a lot of punches, a 2-run inning, a 3-run inning. They got some big clutch hits, and we kept coming back Friday night, holding on to a lead and won that game late. Came from way back on Saturday to make it a great game, and again kept hanging with them on Sunday and just couldn't finish. But obviously I think those guys would tell you those 3 games could have gone either way. That's conference play. It was the same thing at New Orleans, same thing this weekend, and I'm sure it'll be the same at HBU. Conference play is, it's swayed by 2 or 3 plays over the course of 8 or 9 innings, and obviously you want to be on the right side of it, and hopefully we have been lately. We'll continue to come out on top.
Talking about the Stephen F. Austin series before we get away from that, your relationship with Coach Cardenas, it's a long-standing relationship. And tell me about how that intense but very good-natured rivalry sometimes kind of trickles down to the dugouts, because they know about you guys in your long-standing relationship.
It's just a balance is what you want coach to coach. And what I mean by that is life's short. You don't want to come to the park angry or come to the park, you want to get along with the guys that you're playing, guys you're with, guys you're against. And most everybody in the Southland's great relationships. Obviously, Johnny and I are both TCU alums, so he and I have a past relationship. And, we talk, really enjoy each other's families. His family was in town. My extended family was in town. I think my dad spent more time talking with Johnny than he did with me. But that's what you want with guys. And for 9 innings, it's a competitive, you want to beat him more than anything. And when the game's over, the game's over, But we had some good laughs during the game. He's looking in my dugout, and I'm looking at him like, hey, I don't know, and you're kind of having this communication during. But that's what makes it fun, makes the job fun, because at the end of the day, it's just baseball.
Getting back between the lines here, one of the defining features of Islanders baseball this year is definitely team speed. no doubt. 5 of the Southern Conference top 10 stolen base leaders are all Islanders. Now, has this always been the way you wanted to play, or have you adapted to your personnel?
I think we've adapted to our personnel, it's and maybe the way the game's changed a little bit with the bats being toned down, and it puts a more emphasis on team speed. But I do think part of it too is how now it's contagious, Stephen. And when you got Kyle Danford with 10, when you got Russell Vaughn with maybe getting up to 5 or 6, who's our catcher and is an average runner, but it is contagious. Guys watch Jordan Lee steal or Cody Stevens steal, and they want to get in there and do the same thing. And I think it's even bled into, here's the best thing, it's bled into the way we run bases. We go first to third on everything now. We're scoring from first on a double. 9 times out of 10, we're going. And I think over the course of the season, it's put great pressure on the other team. There's been times when you've seen it, our style of running the bases has really weighed heavy on some teams and helped us create some runs. So I think it's been great for this club, and hopefully we'll only get better in the second half.
I want to ask you a little bit about Chapman Field. We're here in the press box today, our new home for Islanders Insider. And the way that you work with Chapman Field, in particular, I know you've got 2 very young daughters, and that's kind of led you to emphasize this more family-friendly environment that you've wanted people to experience here. Kind of break that down for me.
I think that starts with when you get the job, how you want to run your program. I tell moms and dads of recruits, this is a family-first program. Come to our games, you'll see it. You see Marty Smith, our pitching coach, his 2 kids are right behind the dugout. My 2 kids are right behind the dugout. And when the game's over, boom, they're out on the field playing with the guys, having fun. And it's this atmosphere that you want to create. And that, in turn, has now got me going into the whole atmosphere of Chapman Field, of making it more family-friendly, kid-friendly, going to a bounce house with the Kona Ice snow cones on Sunday, and just trying to give parents, families in Corpus Christi, because I know they love baseball. I know they do. This whole area loves baseball. Let's give them another reason to come out, bring the kids out, have a great time, and make it a family day at the park. That's what it's all about. So I love the direction that it's going. As we continue to win more, hopefully that grows more.
The next 6 Southland Conference games are on the road. You're currently 9-7 on the road this season. Do you have a home versus road philosophy the way you prepare your team?
You try to get the kids to take a little more pride in how we play at Chapman Field, some ownership of Chapman Field. Those seniors especially, this is your home field, your home park. You don't want anybody to come in here and get you, But that being said, we played really well on the road, and now we are going into a stretch of 6 road games, which are huge. We're right in that middle of the season where you start to define who you're going to be down the stretch, and our goal, those last 3 weekends, you want to be one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the league with a chance to win this thing. So we've got to go win some series now on the road. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be a fun trip.
There's no doubt about it. Coach, good luck.
Awesome. Stephen, thanks for having me.
Scott Malone, head coach of Islanders baseball, joining us here at Chapman Field. When we come back, we got a special feature on Islanders tennis and their road to the Southland Conference Championships hosted here in Corpus Christi. More to come on Islanders Insider. Welcome back to Islanders Insider. This time we have a special feature brought to you by Teddy Medina, focusing on Islander tennis and the Southland Conference Tournament.
The Islanders men's and women's tennis teams are preparing to host the Southland Conference Tennis Tournament. Both teams are excited for the opportunity to have home court advantage.
Well, we are really excited because we really want to play here home. It's something new. We never played here before, so I think people can come support us, and that's good for both teams. And I'm really, really excited because it's my last year, and I would like to finish here winning the conference in front of everybody, like our friends and parents, in front of everybody.
Well, I feel like this is the best tennis community in the United States, and I feel like the relationship that's been built, the synergy between this tennis community and the Islander teams is the best. It's a lot of our driving force and motivation for how hard we compete here. I think we really feel like this is our community. We receive, I mean, we've had athletics 16 years here, you know, and you wouldn't expect such a big, passionate fan base. And I feel like this team is incredibly grateful for that and plays extra hard because of that.
Well, I believe it's a huge advantage for us because this is the first time we can host this event, and it's not just important for the tennis team, it's important for the whole Corpus Christi. So we're trying to bring as many crowd we can so we can take the advantage to our side since we're playing at home.
The teams both have their goals set high, as the men are looking to repeat as tournament champions, and the women are looking to avenge a loss in the finals last season.
For us, for me and Sandra and Cassie and Ashley, it's just amazing to have the conference here, and then for last year to be in the finals, for like Doris, Mia, and Leanne, like that's something that we've never done before. And each year we grow and grow, and I feel like in freshman year, first round, we lost first round. Sophomore year, we lost in the semis. Last year, finals. So this year, we win it. So it's every year more and more and more.
Like always, we are always trying to win the conference. That's gonna be like the 8th year we're gonna try to do it, and we are just trying to after go deep and deep in the NCS. That's the main objective for us, and try to finally break the first round of the NCS.
The teams know what is required of them to be successful, focusing on what they can control.
You know, we really try to focus on the process, not to get too outcome oriented. It's when we get outcome result oriented that I sense that they play a little tighter and without as much freedom. So we're really just every day chopping wood on 3 things. Max out the things we can control, our effort, our attitude, and playing the right way. And if we just max out those things we can control and focus on the process, then the results come as a symptom.
We are just trying to stay focused on us and do whatever is the best. Try to fight like crazy, fight for each other, and the result is just coming alone. We don't have really to focus on the results. It's just come like this.
For Islanders Insider, I'm Teddy Medina. We'll be right back.
What's Massage Envy Spa? For me, it's healthy, it's affordable. I mean, he always wants
pain relief.
Right. And I want a healthier complexion. And now we can get a customized massage or a healthy skin facial.
At a really good price.
At a great price. And nothing feels better than that.
Customized massages and healthy skin facials, all at the perfect price. Start a healthy routine today with Massage Envy Spa.
Go, you'll see.
Welcome back to Islanders Insider. Once again, we're coming to you today from Chapman Field as we're talking some Islanders baseball and softball. At this time, we're going to be talking with the head coach of our softball program, Coach Stephanie Hughes. Coach, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Doing good. First time we've had this opportunity to talk her on the show, so we'll kind of step back a little bit. Coming into the season, it appeared that the strength of this team was going to be experience and hitting. Valerie Perez, one of your seniors, Jamise Jackson, are true leaders and carry some big bats, no doubt. They've also been complemented by a vastly improved Danny Teft, who's hitting the ball exceptionally well, and a couple freshmen, Liz Carter and of course, Brittany Morse. Do you see it the same way? Is that the way this team was put together coming into this year?
Yes, it was. We were going to rely heavily on our seniors, Val and JJ, to come out and be that offensive kind of, that senior leader that we needed them to be on the field. And we knew that those true freshmen were going to come in and make an immediate impact. And it's nice to see them, continue to grow. They all came out really, really well. The scouting reports went out on them. The pitching got a little bit better, and they've kind of had some ups and downs. But it seems that we're leveling back out as far as the freshmen are concerned. They're really doing a great job during conference right now.
Well, speaking of your two freshmen, the pitchers, Liz Carter and another freshman, actually Katie Blainer, they came in with some high expectations. They maybe had a little different trajectories in their first season. Now, Carter is your number one starter. Now, Blainer has been used primarily as a reliever this year. Now, I got to ask you this question, though. How long does it take a freshman pitcher to really acclimate themselves or mature towards a college game? Because even Sarah Pauley, your assistant, in her freshman year, 25 games her freshman year. Later parts of her career, she was the workhorse, 35 to 40 games a year.
Right. The biggest thing with freshmen is the speed of the game is completely different. Liz was an all-state pitcher, Westlake High School out of Austin, and didn't really have to do much. She could just blow it by people. She's learning how to actually set up hitters, how to go at their strengths, go at their weaknesses, and how to go at bat to at bat. And that's something that's been the biggest learning curve for her and for Katie as well. Is just understanding that the hitters at this level are much, much better. And so, they can't rely on their just God-given talents. Not everybody is Sarah Pauly that can throw 70 miles an hour. So they've got to learn how to set up hitters, and that's been the biggest transition for both of them.
No doubt. Now, talk to me about other newcomers, freshman Mackenzie Griebel, Jessica Mendez, who's from Corpus Christi, Moody High School.
Right. Mackenzie came out early in the season and was just on fire. It didn't seem like she was phased at all about being a true freshman playing Division I. And again, you see the freshmen do that sometimes, and the scouting reports catch up to them, and they're having to learn, just like the pitchers, learning how to transition to the Division I pitching. Jessica Mendez has been a complete, I don't want to say surprise. I knew she was going to be athletic and athletic enough to make this jump. Nothing phases that kid. She is dancing in the outfield, playing Texas. It doesn't matter. She is having the time of her life, and she's just a baller. She gets on base. She makes things happen. Whether she's getting on with a walk. The other day against Nichols, she had a leadoff triple in the 9th inning. Ended up scoring the winning run. Just little things like that you can't really coach or teach. She's got it, and so we've actually moved her into our leadoff role. She's been that role for the past 9-10 games and has done a great job.
There's also another newcomer, but not necessarily one who plays. Talk to us about Assistant Keith Stein. He's your newest coaching member this year.
Keith's done an amazing job bringing a different perspective to the game, and for us, he's got the baseball background, and so he sees a lot of different things on the field. He sees it in a baseball perspective. The girls call him an Energizer bunny. He constantly has energy, and he never stops moving. One of the best things about Keith is that anytime the girls ask him to do anything, whether it's hitting them extra ground balls, pitching to him, whatever it might be, he's never once have I heard him say no. So he's truly in it to make them better, and he has been a huge difference in our program. He's helped me be able to step away from certain aspects of the coaching, be able to focus more on certain spots, and having him really take over that hitting role in our coaching staff.
There have been some tough stretches this season, there's no doubt. There have been days when you're plating 6, 7, 8 runs, and there's the next day it's 1 or 2. How do you combat consistency issues?
I knew that coming in we were going to rely heavily on our freshman class. And when you rely heavily on any freshman, you're probably not going to be as consistent as you would like to be. We've had to constantly teach. And that's one of the biggest things. If you've been out to games, there's been times where I've been coaching third base, and then there's been times where I've been coaching first base. And a lot of the times where I'm coaching first base, it's because I'm sitting there talking to the team throughout that at bat. And it might be, what pitch do you think she's going to see here? What situation do you think we're going to be in, here and there? And it's just constantly teaching. I think that's one thing that me and my staff as well as a whole have figured out, that we're teaching every single day. It's April and we're still teaching, and that's going to be the biggest thing for us. And we've got to help these kids grow because that nucleus of our freshmen is going to be the foundation of this program for years to come.
Each day I know you work on fundamentals, hitting, fielding drills, and all other physical conditioning components that makes up the game. There's also the time when you have to be the sports psychologist. There's no doubt when the team has had their troubles, like that stretch we talked about, how do you bring them back? How do you keep them focused?
We talk a lot about how, and it's very similar with baseball. This is a game of numbers. We joke around with the girls all the time about there's a stat for everything. How you did against a left-handed hitter in a night game in the 6th inning. There's a stat for every single thing that we do. We have to throw that out sometimes and just make them look inside the chalk lines and know that the most important things they're going to bring to this team is not going to be on that stat sheet at the end of the day. And so whether they're hitting 400 or whether they're hitting 200, we have to make sure that every day they're getting better. And we talk about that a lot. It's not about the number. It's about, or the outcome. It's about the process, and we've really tried to buy into that.
Well, 12 Southland Conference games remain on the schedule, and a couple non-conference meetings, Texas A&M, a couple games with the Aggies, and, of course, the University of Houston. What specifically needs to improve to battle back and gain your position in the Southland Conference tournament?
I think for us is you go back to that consistency thing. We've played, the top half of our conference schedule, the way it kind of worked out is our first 4 series were against the top teams in the conference. We learned a lot in those series, and we competed really well. We've got to come back. Got one game taken away from us with weather at Nichols. We've got Stephen F. Austin this weekend. The good thing is we've got games at home that we can win. And, our conference right now is, I think there's 4 or 5 teams that have 8 losses. That's not that far away from where we are. And so we can jump back in this with 2 or 3 great weekends.
Yeah. Well, the season's far from over. Got a lot of softball to play still. I want to wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Stephanie Hughes joining us here once again in the Chapman Field press box, the new home of Islanders Insider. When we come back, we'll bring you up to speed on what's next for Islanders Athletics. You're watching Islanders Insider. Welcome back to Islanders Insider. At this time, we want to bring you up to speed on what's next for Islanders Athletics. All the Islanders are on the road for Easter weekend, starting with the baseball team's 3-game series at Northwestern State. The teams will begin their set Thursday, April 17th at 6:30 p.m., followed by games Friday at 6:30 and Saturday at 2 in Natchitoches. Scott Malone's squad will follow up with a midweek affair against Houston Victoria on Tuesday, April 22nd at 6 p.m. The team will play host to Oral Roberts for a 3-game series beginning Friday, April 25th at 7 p.m. Islanders softball heads to Beaumont this weekend for a 3-game series at Lamar. The Islanders and Cardinals will take part in a doubleheader starting at 4 p.m. on Friday, April 18th, with the series finale set for Saturday at 2 o'clock. Stephanie Hughes' squad will then play a Tuesday doubleheader at Texas A&M, set for a 4 p.m. start on April 22nd. The Islanders return home for their final home conference series beginning on Saturday, April 26th, with Sam Houston State bound for Chapman Field. The teams will play a Saturday doubleheader beginning at 1 o'clock, while Sunday's finale is scheduled for noon. That will be senior day for the Islanders. And the Islanders tennis team is gearing up for its stretch run. The men's and women's teams will both take on New Orleans on Monday, April 21st, starting at noon for both teams. And that will be the final regular season contest for both teams at the Thomas J. Henry Tennis Center. Then the Henry Tennis Center will play host to the 2014 Southland Conference Championships. Women's play runs from Friday, April 25th through Sunday, April 27th, while the men's squads will play on both Saturday and Sunday. Be sure to check out GoIslanders.com for all the latest schedule information. Once again, we want to thank Scott Malone, head coach of Islanders baseball, and Stephanie Hughes, the head coach of Islanders softball, for joining us here today at the Chapman Field press box. I'm Stephen King for everybody here. Thank you for joining us. This has been Islanders Insider.